Well, hello, students. This is Mrs. Donahue, and though you don't know it, this is the second or potentially third intro video I've made you this school year. This is probably the one you'll actually get on Thursday. It is September 1st, and if you can see, I am back in the Reg. I wanted to say hi. It's going to be a weird year. I mean, I'm meeting you this way, so hopefully you understood that it was going to be a weird year. I'm hoping that if you're seeing this, you either have already found your Google information in the email and the invitation that I sent, or you're particularly cool and you found my YouTube page and therefore found the information. Either way, this is going to be one of the intro videos you get, and hopefully you're live with me in the room, live via the computer. And we're doing this also the good old-fashioned way, which is as face-to-face as we can. In this weird 2020 school year, I just wanted to say a few things to you, make sure that we touched on a couple of notes, and kind of set the tone for what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year. First of all, you're having me for either Junior English, which is American Lit, or AP Composition. Either way, it's going to be rockin'. I am like an old school true English nerd in all the respects. I love everything with English, reading, writing, all that jazz. When or if you come into the classroom, you will also notice that I am a huge general nerd. My reputation hopefully precedes me at this point. I have a giant CADE 6 in my room. I'm working really hard on trying to get a Black Panther tribute board up because Chadwick Boseman. I have Pac-Man in the back of my room, all kinds of good stuff. I like to integrate as much media as I can into my lessons anyway. I was always a teacher who wanted us to go one for one anyway. So in some ways, I'm one of the best people you could have on your side right now because I love digital teaching, and I think of myself as being good about integrating things that keep you amused. And being in recognizable and also easy to manage chunks of work on your own. Now, that being said, let's talk what class will look like every day. It is expected by the school and by me that you arrive to class on time. We're being given a 15-minute attendance window, so after that you are like absent. Class is only an hour, because we're on half-day schedule, which means I'm going to need every ounce of your hour. Like, I want you guys there in the first minute of class. I cannot require you to turn your cameras on, but I would really like you to. A lot of the videos you're going to see from me are probably going to be half in school and half in my own home that I just moved into and is just a barrage of boxes and disorganized mess. You're going to see the unfinished kitchen that doesn't have any pantry doors. You're going to see the office that is just cluttered and disorganized. None of the books belong with each other. Although right now the office looks pretty cool because it happened to be where all the comic books got dropped, which I enjoy. My point is I have absolutely no judgment over what I see on your cameras. So I want you to feel comfortable showing me your face. One thing about teaching is it usually involves the ability to read people. It gets very hard to do that if I can't see or hear you. Not that it becomes impossible, but it becomes harder, especially if we're going to be talking about any meaningful topic, because any meaningful topic is inevitably going to be a little hard, right? That which is worth doing is not easy to do. I want you to feel comfortable telling me if you have any reason that you can't do that. So like, for example, if you're like, listen, we just moved, or like I'm sharing a room right now with my brother or sister, just let me know. Anytime I know something about you, I can always help you. But if I don't know, there's nothing I can do. I've worked really hard to build the reputation of being a very fair person who works with her kids. So if you are worried in some way that you're going to encounter a roadblock with me, ask around. I will help you. If you are having any internet problems, if you are having any connectivity issues, if you're working off your phone because you have one laptop and you're sharing it with someone else, if you have no sound, if you really can't work right now because there's 4 of you sharing one tiny table to do work at home and you just need to wait until the others go to sleep and then you do your work later, talk to me, please, I beg you. I can always help if I'm aware of a situation, but if I'm not, then I can't. I expect that all your work is turned in by the due date. While remote learning involves a lot of flexibility, and as I just said, you'll find that I am flexible. That doesn't mean that we just throw due dates to the wind and people turn in work whenever they want. That's chaos. We need some semblance of order here. We need some rules. If something's due by midnight, it's due by midnight. If something's due by 8 a.m., usually that means you have to use it that day in class, so it's definitely due by 8 a.m. I expect that all work is original. Just because we're learning remotely does not mean that we stop doing our own work. In some ways, because I'm all about finding the happy little silver linings to all this nonsense, in some ways, I really like that you guys are being pushed to be so independent, because many students in your age bracket keep telling me, oh, I'm going to college. I'm college ready. I'm going to be in college. All of this will be different. Right now, you're getting as close to college feel as you're going to get, which is, here's the work. You have time to do it. Do it. If you approach me for help, I'll help you. But in many ways, the semblance of how we run a high school classroom is becoming a little bit more mature. It's becoming a little bit closer to what a college would be. You're still getting exponentially more one-on-one help and assistance with the work in high school with me than you would be if I was your professor. But I really like that it's pushing a lot of you to find your learning style. Are you the person who really needs to sit quietly with headphones on, playing music, doing your work alone? Are you the person who is desperately missed in class learning and you really need to be in this room on one of these 13 desks that are spaced well apart? It's not 6 feet, but it's close-ish. You're going to find a lot about how you learn. One thing I really want you to do is talk to me about it. I learn best under certain circumstances. I know myself, and I've had enough time to reflect on that. And when you have control over how you learn, you'll find that learning is really fun. It's one of your favorite things. You're going to want to do it all the time. So take this opportunity for remote learning and figure out how you need to do things. I will help you as best I can. In terms of materials, you guys are being issued laptops. You need that laptop every day. Not just for me, but for everyone. Take good care of it. If you need a charger or something, try to let me know ASAP as soon as class starts, because the sooner I know that I have something I got to find for you, the better. Other things I would encourage you to get are a pair of headphones that are compatible with the laptops. Right up until the last iteration of the teacher laptops, you could have the old-fashioned auxiliary cable headphones. If you have earbuds that are compatible, all works fine for me. All of the videos that I'm going to be showing you are on YouTube. I made my own YouTube page just to host my lessons so that it wasn't a matter of you were listening to it on your phone versus your laptop and one of them had different availability than the other. You should be able to always access those pages. If you ever have issues with it, please do let me know. On the school Wi-Fi, occasionally there's the school blocks. If I have to open up permissions on something, I will. So again, just let me know. Also this year, for communication purposes, there's going to be a few, new things, tweaks. I've always used Remind. I'm really encouraging you guys to get Remind. I cannot require it, but I encourage it. Remind is an amazing way for students to keep in touch with me. You guys are glued to your phones. Texting is sort of your go-to language. It's a perfect way for you to have that right there. Also this year, brand new, I'm starting a parent Remind, which is not for your normal updates. If parents want to know when homework is due or big tests are coming up, they should join the student Remind, because that's the type of information that's going to go out on the student Remind. Not that parents can't have that information should they want it. They're perfectly welcome to it. But I've decided that kind of feeling like we're all on our phones all the time, especially quarantine's put us on our phones, right? That's what it's done. I'm starting a parent contact Remind for the parents, especially who might be in different work situations this year. If you either don't check your email or you're on your work email, not your personal email, and you don't cross the two over so that you're always missing stuff from school, or if you just don't ever take traditional phone calls. I know that I pretty much press ignore on every phone number that comes up on my phone that's not already in my contact list, because I'm just worried they're all spam and I don't feel like dealing with it, so I pretty much ignore everything, and you might also. The Remind app lets us have our own text, so that if I was, say, going, I've noticed that Johnny's been out of school for a few days. Is everything all right? Do you need me to send work home? I can send that as a text on Remind, and then we don't have to worry about whether the email address is misspelled or whether you're on your work account and not your home account, and what's being linked to your phone, what's not being linked to your phone. This is all just straightforward texting. Other things, we're going to be using our Google Classroom. Some people are Microsoft people. I'm a Google person myself. I expect that every class time that we have scheduled, you guys are on the Google Meet. Everyone, both in class and not in class. I want you on the Meet. Why do I want you all on the Meet? Because it's collaborative, and you guys should be seeing one another. I don't care if you occasionally pop someone on mute because you don't want to hear what they're saying, but I want to be able to see as much of a collaborative classroom experience as I can. Things that we have been kind of reminded that I want to remind you, there's different school rules. There's going to be up and down stairwells, so you're going to have to look when you come in the building which are labeled up and which are labeled down. If this in some way slows you down coming to class because I'm upstairs in the 500s, you let me know. You are not eating in this building. I mean, you have the availability to get breakfast and stuff, but you're not having lunch. And though normally I would let you guys eat in class, like say you had a granola bar, say you had your breakfast, I would prefer that you not eat in the classroom. Eating means you have to remove your mask. And if you notice, I am demasked right now because it's really hard to record yourself while wearing the mask and make it sound legible. But in the classroom, there's going to be masks on 100% of the time. This is a school-wide rule. It's also one that, I'll be honest, I agree with. I have 2 small children at home, one that's not even a year old, and if he were to get sick, it would be really bad for him. I'm going to be behind my plexiglass barrier. I'm going to be sanitizing. I'm going to have one of the funky shields over my face. I'm going to look like an ER nurse. It's going to be great. I'm doing that because I have to worry about him. As much as myself, as much as my daughter, as much as my husband, but the one I'm worried about the most is my infant boy. And I'm also worried about my mom, who's a senior citizen and watches my kids for me. So I'm definitely full PPE. When you guys are in the room, not only is it a school rule, but I think it's also just courtesy. I need you guys to be on board with that too. There are hand sanitizing stations in each room. There's not hand sanitizer in it today, but I'm sure by tomorrow and Thursday there will be. They also said there's going to be wipes. So when you come in the room, I expect that you take the wipe down your desk, take a seat. You can wipe down your computer, but why would you? You're holding it yourself all day. But you just wipe down your desk area, you sit. I don't want any horsing around. I don't want any touching. I don't want demasking. I don't want you guys touching anything else in the room. Normally I have a very go explore my bookshelves room, but let's not and say we did. There's also going to be a one strike policy with the mask. If I have to remind you to wear the mask, I'm going to do it once, and I just don't want to fight with you guys over it. The school's response to that is if you will not wear the mask, you will go on remote learning. This is something you have to consider. If you really don't want to do remote learning because it hasn't been working for you, I would definitely abide by all school policy. Again, please don't eat in the room. And in terms of drinking and stuff, if you need a beverage and you have water, you can kind of do the little, sneak it under the mask real quick. I know they're going to make you hot. They make me hot too. My hair was down, but that was 4 hours of wearing a mask ago. You can keep yourselves hydrated, obviously. The bathroom rules are going to be a little different this year. So we're only allowed to have 2 students in a bathroom at a time. And once that limit is set, they're going to have to start a socially distanced line for the bathrooms, which means spacing you guys 6 feet apart in the hallway. Which means no more boredom bathroom. No more, I need a break from class, so I got to go to the bathroom. It's going to create chaos of lines. It's going to create way too much lines. We still have the 2 bathroom passes. I'm really going to encourage you guys as much as possible not to utilize them. You may, of course, utilize them if you have to. But you can imagine how much time's going to go to standing in line at a bathroom. You only have a half day. So if you had to, couldn't you wait? Or potentially, go at the very end of the day or the very beginning of the day. Just putting it out there. We've never had to encounter only limiting it to 2 students in a bathroom. And that's going to be one of those weird things that's going to snowball out of control. You guys are not allowed to use your lockers this year. Not that, again, you would need too much by having laptops. I mean, especially for my class, I'm going to try and do everything digital, including the books. If this is a real problem for you, like if you in some ways cannot handle having digital reading, please let me know, but understand that we were told not to make copies. So even if you like reading a literary criticism in hard copy, I can't print it out for you and hand it to you. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue, but if we're reading a book and you truly want a hard copy of the book, let me know, but I'm going to do my best to keep them digital. It prevents us from losing stuff anyway, and I frankly think that if you are your age and you're looking at going into college, you really should consider getting comfortable reading digitally. It's a lot cheaper in college when you have to buy your own books. I mean, you'll go from spending $500 or $600 a semester to maybe spending $100. It's a huge price difference. Other things I wanted to sort of go over with you guys is the expectation for when and where teachers are available. So you guys have a half day. You guys are done at 12:02. Teachers are, as of, I think yesterday, allowed to leave at 12:30. That's our lunch. 12:30 to 1:30 is our lunch. And however close or far people are from home is going to play a factor in how much time they actually have to eat. But after that, the expectation is that we are live for extra help every day between 1:30 and 2:40. Might be 1:40, but at any rate between 1:30 and 1:40 and the end of the day, which is 2:40. We are required to have live availability. Now, normally I would just have you guys go back on your own individual classroom meets, but that means I have to know which meet's active or else one group doesn't see me and I might be talking over it. So I have one Google Classroom dedicated just to extra help. So if you're looking for me after hours, like if you're looking for me in that afternoon help session, that's the Google Classroom you got to find me in. I think it makes it easier because it doesn't matter which class you're in, you're just going to one place. So that's not too bad. In terms of the Google Classrooms, everything will be there. Links, files, you name it. We are using Genesis to grade, not Google. I prefer Genesis, frankly. But you should be checking Genesis at least once a week. I wouldn't check it every day. I think that drives you insane. But at least once a week to see if you're behind on anything. Google will also let you know if you're behind on something. Like on Google, I will leave messages saying that you need to submit something if you can't submit something again. I also want to encourage you guys to think about my class as always the ability to have more. I have run a points-based system, which means that it's not like homework's worth 10% and tests are worth 50. Everything is just a point. So like if tests are worth 100 points and a quiz is worth 50 points, roughly 2 quizzes is worth a test. But frankly, I base it on what we're doing at the time. If we have a class that's running heavily on classwork, your classwork's going to be the bulk of your grade, and a test isn't really going to sink or swim you. I want you guys to understand that having even 50% is much better than having a 0. 60% is better than 0. You should always give me something rather than nothing. Don't let yourself be ashamed of an incomplete, because it's not how I see them. I just see you accumulating more points. A very positive way to look at it. Other things that you have to think about. Both AP Comp and juniors have a research paper requirement, and we're doing them this year. I'm not afraid, frankly. I know how to write research papers. I know how to teach research papers. I'm not nervous that it's digital at all. I don't think you guys should be either. But what you should understand is that right now, writing the research paper, even though it's being done half remote, still is required for full credit in the class. Like, you won't pass the class if you don't do the paper, or if you don't pass the paper. Additionally, Seton Hall students, AP Comp students should consider that there's Seton Hall credit available for them. So if you're in AP Comp, you can register at Seton Hall for more credits. This is a very big opportunity. It is the cheapest you'll ever get college credit, and you should totally take it. We only offer a handful of courses at Monmouth that allow you to pay for college credit like that, and I'm going to tell you to take them all day long. AP Comp's one of your options. Great Books When It Runs, which is my course, is also an option. Humanities is an option. Holocaust and Genocide, not through Seton Hall, but I think through Kane, is an option. It's money in the bank. It's the cheapest. I will explain more later, but it's the cheapest you're ever going to find college credit. And then you just accumulate it. I want you guys to feel like I've answered as many questions as I can. I'll answer more if I have answers for you. You guys are expected to self-report. If you're not feeling well, please stay home. Please stay home. If we're not feeling well, same rules apply. I'm not teleworking. I did apply twice, but I'm here in person, so you should expect to see me when you're here. And I'm working with Miss McCain for half the one group that I have. So whenever you're here live, she'll be with us. I work very, very closely with Miss Nappy. She might be at home, but I could show you our text thread and how nerdy it is. We've literally texted each other about 50 times in the last 4 days about what we're doing this year. Not because anyone told us to, because we're nerds. And we just kept going, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? So if you're a junior, expect that your junior life is going to look very similar to all of your friends, whether they have me or Miss Nappy. Like, we kind of symbiotically exist with each other. Besides that, I want you guys to not come into 2020 with 2019 goals. That's the best piece of advice I've heard yet. This is 2020. It's weird. The rules are not the same. All we can do is come, try our hardest, be our best, and be honest. I am honestly looking forward to trying this out. I've wanted to go digital with students for the longest time, and now we're at least there. I can't wait to explore some of these topics with you guys, and I look forward to all of the great conversations we're going to have. See you guys both live and in person next week. And see you digitally Thursday and Friday. Bye, guys.